Injuries go, Pacheco actually came in with a shoulder contusion. We'll see how he works out here. He's gonna have that checked, so he won't work out today. So Brian Cook with the ankle sprain, he's being evaluated still. And then Donovan Smith has a neck stinger. Drew Tranquil is still in the concussion protocol. So those guys will not practice today. And we'll just see down the road here how that all goes. I don't have dates. I don't do that anyway. So with that, we look forward to the challenge of playing the Bills. Obviously a good football team, and they're familiar with us. We're familiar with them, and it should be, like I said, a heck of a football game. So with that, time's yours.
Those first two drives offensively, what went wrong in the red zone, in your opinion, now that you have a chance to look back at it?
Yeah, you know what? The first drive, I could help the guys out with the calls. You know, and then the second drive, you know, we had the penalty. So, but we can fix all that stuff. We'll get that taken care of. You're right. We need to score touchdowns there, not field goals.
Andy, more often than not in the years that Patrick has been the starter, you've had a stretch where you've lost 3 or 5 games, like you're on right now, and each time came out of it pretty well. What are some of the keys to when there's been like a month, 6-week stretch?
Now, this league's crazy right now. I mean, it's week to week. I think we understand that. I mentioned, you know, a few weeks ago, San Francisco. Everybody, when we were in Germany, San Francisco was on a 3-game skid. You know, so and now they're playing well. Denver, you know, same thing, and they're playing well. So, you know, you go back and you do a better job coaching. You focus in a little bit more playing on the players playing and doing their jobs. And so, but those are things you can control and keep a positive attitude doing it. You know, learn from your mistakes and stay positive with it.
Andy, you had a bigger sample size this last week from Wanya Morris. Just wanted to get your thoughts on how he did.
Yeah. I actually thought he did a nice job for just stepping in there. You know, he's obviously a talented kid, and he's got good strength, good feet. So there's a good chance he's in there again this week. So we'll see. You know. See how it all rolls.
Would you have faith in him to start if Donovan can't go?
Yeah, I would. Mm-hmm.
Andy, upon tape review, when you see what happened with Sky and his route, MVS had one where he's kind of turned around. Is there anything you guys are seeing there that could be a quick fix coming forward? Is this something, or what are you observing from that?
I thought it was more just being on the same page with each other, you know, and that's a little bit of a unique play that, you know, we check to. I'm talking about for Sky. And then, you know, with MVS, yeah, I mean, I think just the more he keeps playing, you know, he's been in and out, and try to keep him in there a little bit more so he stays in the flow with things. I think he'll be all right. You know, Pat came back to him on the controversial one.
What are y'all seeing from?
Any other thoughts on that, Andy?
Yeah.
You want to expand? Just wanted to ask.
Coach, Patrick said last week that one of the things you said to him during the bye week was to trust his receivers. That's one of the things that you came back to him. What does that look like from your? What would be the?
Yeah, listen. You know, it's we lost a game. Offensively, though, it was picked up a little bit from where we've been. And you're going to have incomplete pass. There are going to be some incompletes. But he's trusting the guys. He's putting it out there to them and letting them go get it. And ended up with a pretty good day. Other than we didn't score enough points, we got to take care of the red zone. You know, so and I'll take the responsibility for that. So, but I thought he threw the ball well. I thought the receivers did a nice job catching the ball when they had opportunities to catch the ball. Every throw is not going to be a perfect throw, and so on. So, but yeah, I thought he did a decent job.
When you talk
The
about,
2-point conversion in the third quarter, you did that earlier, and you tend to do those kinds of things. Just curious what you were thinking there.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to tie the score, first of all, and then it didn't work. So, but early enough in the game where you take care of business down the road, and you make up for that. But that was the time to do it. So
What
we
are y'all
got
seeing?
to do better with it.
What are y'all seeing from Buffalo this week with their own struggles coming in off their bye week?
Yeah, they listen. Their numbers are really good, offensively, and defensively in certain areas, very good. So they've been a little bit up and down. They're working through that. So but they're a talented football team and a good football team, one we respect, and that we've got to make sure we take care of business this week in practice to get ready for them.
Coach, the receiving group that you have is under a microscope. Seems like they're magnified, week after week. What have you learned about that group? Is it, as far as like mentally, are they where they need to be?
Yeah, they seem to be. Yeah, I don't know how much they read on the microscope part, but they're trying to get better every day. So that's the important thing.
Couple more guys.
I'm sure you've been in this situation from the offensive perspective, but for Spags putting together a plan this week against a team that just changed its offensive coordinator, how much of that is, ignoring the first 10 weeks and just really focusing on the last 2 to get a feel for what they are and what they're doing?
Yeah, there's some differences, but there's also some of the same things that they didn't completely can the offense there. So, but I think I'll have a good feel, for what they do best, and so on. Yeah.
Andy, like you mentioned, in the first 3 quarters, you guys moved the ball pretty well. The fourth quarter, when you look at the final drive, I realize it's always going to be a small sample size when you're just looking at one drive, but how do you execute better on just final drive situations this year in general?
Yeah, well, we needed to score, and we didn't do that. So we've got to do a better job there. Yeah, and a lot of those come down to catching the ball, throwing the ball, blocking up front. It's mostly the passing game part. So we've got to make plays when given the opportunity. From all 3 parties on the field.
Andy, Green Bay scored a touchdown on the first 2 possessions, obviously, the other day, similar to what happened in Vegas. I mean, they missed a field goal, obviously, in between. But is there any common theme, maybe, in what's going on defensively early in games?
Yeah, well, we've got to make sure we fix that. We've been doing better than that, and so we're working on it. I mean, I'm not going to tell you, but we've got to fix that. To answer your question.
Last one. Jarrett McKinnon, Nick Bolton, 2 guys you didn't mention earlier. How close are they to returning?
Yeah, they're close. Yeah, very. They'll practice today.
All right. Thank you.
Patrick, I asked Andy about this, but late fourth quarter situation is something I know you guys have really taken a lot of pride on over the years. Hasn't really worked out this year. Is there small sample size? Was there something you can pinpoint for
I think you just got to continue with it. It's not always gonna go your way. We want it to, but I thought we were doing a good job on that drive before I threw the interception. And even in the last drive, I thought we got down the field and gave ourselves a chance in a kind of a bad situation. So you just kind of keep with it and just trust that the guys are gonna we're gonna make it work in the end, and hopefully in the playoffs or in the last part of the season we can convert some of those drives.
Coach revealed that, or he said there's a good chance Wanya Morris gets to start at left tackle. How far have you seen him come along, and just your confidence level and what he can do?
Yeah, he's played well. If you watch his tape of the last game and the limited snaps that he's been in the game, he's done a great job on the run game and the pass game. And I think now just trying to get him prepared for a great defensive line. A lot of the games and stuff that they do and the stunts. But as far as playing the position, he's done a great job.
Patrick, is there anything, obviously it's a process in the passing game every year, is there anything new or different that you can do, think you should do to, I don't know, kind of accelerate the pace of chemistry with the guys? Or is it just you got to do day in, day out?
Yeah, you just come into work and try to get better. That's all you can do. I think the guys have done a great job of trying to do that. We're going to continue to get better. I thought we had a lot of great things from the last game. Obviously, just didn't execute in the red zone. So it's the little things in this league that are the difference between winning and losing. And so we'll continue to focus on those and try to get better going into this week.
And really nothing extra or different you can see to do other than keep on keeping on?
Yeah, I mean, you work on the stuff that didn't work out during the game. You try to adjust those things and maximize the stuff that you did well. But at the same time, I mean, this league's close, and these games come down to one score, and it's whoever executes the small things that come out with the win.
Patrick, sometimes you're speaking about the receivers. This year they're behind a microscope a lot more than previous years. How are they mentally?
They seem like they're in a great spot. I mean, in the locker room, I think everybody knows that we're all trying to go out there and be great and try to win football games, and I have a lot of trust in those guys, and I see how hard they're working. And so for us, it's about kind of keeping it within the locker room. I mean, we're still sitting there on top of the AFC West, and I think we have a lot of the stuff out in front of us. We just have to go out there and capitalize on it. And I think if we can start this week with a great week of practice and try to beat a really good football team, Buffalo Bills, it's kind of like next week we'll be talking about how great we are. So it's kind of this how the NFL works.
You've been on, speaking of which, you've been on teams here that have lost games in clusters, like 2 out of 4, 3 out of 5. Is there you ever noticed any confidence issue in the room because of that, or in the locker room, or?
I haven't. I mean, I've been on a team that was 6-4, and I think we won the Super Bowl. So we have confidence every week that we're going to find a way to win the football game. Obviously, these last few weeks we've lost a couple, but we saw that mindset, and we understand the challenge that's in front of us. But at the same time, all you can do is go to work every single day and get better, and then go out and give whatever you can on the football field.
Does this situation feel a little different to you, just given what's going on offensively right now?
Not necessarily. I mean, for me, it's just you got to continue to get better and better throughout a season. I mean, we want to always win 14, 15, whatever games every year, but that's not how the NFL works. It's about parity and bringing teams together. And like I said, we're sitting here 8-4, and we're going up against a great team. And if we can go out there and find a way to get a win, we can just try to build off that momentum and try to ride that through the playoffs. And so 8-4 is 8-4 at the end of the day, and we have to continue to get better and better.
Patrick, because having gone through those tough stretches that Blair alluded to, does that inform how you can see things now? I mean, does it tell you, well, of course we can get it the way we want it, but we've done it before?
Yeah, I think seasons, you never know how they're turn out. You don't know if you're going to lose games in kind of spread out fashion or kind of clump them all together. But all you can do is focus on that next week. You wash it and focus on that day. How can I get better today? And how can I focus on the opponent that we're playing upcoming? And so you never know how the season's going to go, but if you can continue to get better and better throughout the season and be playing your best football going into the playoffs, that's usually a good thing.
Patrick, a second ago about how everyone will love you again if you're able to defeat the Bills. How early do you learn you can't really pay any attention to the reactions on a week by week basis?
Yeah, I think I learned from Coach Reid. I mean, you always see him. He's never too high, never too low. He's just kind of focused on the task at hand. How can he get us into the best position to play the best football we can that day? And so that's kind of my mindset is no matter if we win and everybody's loving us, or if we lose and everybody's kind of down on us, you just got to focus on how can I get myself better and prepare for that next game. And I think if you do that, that kind of puts everything where you can kind of in perspective, where you can kind of go out there and just be the best you can be.
Patrick, I know you guys work on every situation in camp and different things. When you talk about the Hail Mary, the kind of jump ball thing, I mean, as an outsider, it looks like no flag has ever been thrown. Like, the guys get mauled down there, right, and nobody throws a flag. Is there a technique or a conversation that you have as to, or a way you throw the ball to try to go around the fact that referees never, ever call pass interference in those situations?
Yeah, it's tough because there's so many guys that are all in the same area. And we talk about it and we say they're not going to throw flags. They're gonna let the guys go out there and play. The one on Trav was a little aggressive, just because the guy full pushed him out of the way, and that's the kind of the guy we want to be in the middle, going up and get the ball. So I mean, at some point there's got to be a flag, but at the same time we do tell the guys they're not going to throw a lot of flags in that situation.
Sam?
Patrick, just you guys obviously didn't have as many possessions against Green Bay, the way they were draining the clock. When you look at the last two games, are there signs of the offense that you do see that progress just over the past couple weeks on a per play basis? It's been improved.
Yeah, no, I mean when I was watching the game, kind of after the game, I mean I thought we did a lot of great things. If you can capitalize in those red zone ball on the 5-yard line, you got to find a way to get in the end zone on those first two drives, and you get 14 points. It's a whole new football game. But that's the little things that we have to continue to get better at. We did a lot of great things until that fourth quarter. I made a few reads I'd probably want to take back and go to other spots just because of the way the play kind of was designed. But other than that, I mean, I thought guys did a great job, and if I can just not make that mistake at the end of the game, I think we'll have a chance to win it there at the end.
Steve?
Patrick, you've earned about every award you could think of in the league. Now you're the Chiefs nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, just the group, the fraternity of guys that have come before me that have won that award. And then not even only that, I think just this team and how much it means to give back to the community and be a part of this community that's given so much to us. It truly is an honor. It's hard. It's got to be hard to pick when you look at guys like Travis Kelce, Justin Reed, Trey Smith. I mean, there's so many guys that do so much for the community. I'm just glad that I was able to be honored to be in that group that gets to go and be at the Super Bowl and listen to all the stories of all the guys giving back to these great communities. It truly is it's a great honor.
Last two, Todd and then Nate. Go ahead, Todd.
After the game, you talked about the interception, and then the Packers player had mentioned he thought he saw a tap of the knee and pick things up. Just wondering if you can take us into the cat and mouse game, not specifically what you guys do, but kind of how you have to disguise that stuff in games and every week to make sure those things don't happen.
Yeah, we change them up a lot. I saw he said that he saw the thing and he knew the play, but it's the first time I've checked that play in my history of playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. So he definitely saw a signal. He did a great job, made a great play, a game-changing play. But just try to be more subtle, I guess, for myself to try to get us to the right spot where we can make a play happen.
Nate?
Patrick, I was going to ask, kind of building off of that, how much does that happen? Whether you have the freedom to make checks, or just how often do you feel like you get the opportunity to sort of make those calls, even though you know what the play call originally is?
Yeah, no, Coach Reid gives me the freedom on every play to check us and get us into the best play. And I do a lot of signals. Some are real, some aren't real. It's all about trying to play that cat and mouse game of, like you were saying, of trying to confuse the defense. And they got me on that one, made a big time play, and I'll learn from it and try to be better the next time.
What's your percentage if you had to ballpark it?
Percentage of success,
Yes.
you say?
Success rate, yeah.
Been pretty high. I mean, I would say we've been able to score points in my career. So I think just trying to be better this year because obviously we need to score more points and win more football games.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Go ahead for Chris.
Well, Chris, you're facing Buffalo. Josh Allen, faced him plenty of times before. What are you seeing any differently, anything just similar, you know, with the challenge of facing Buffalo?
They're a good team. Got to prepare, watch a little more film, be able to stop that explosive offense. I think they played 97 plays last week against a very, very good Philadelphia Eagles defense. So they're able to put up a lot of points, whether it's running the ball. I think they had 173 rushing yards. Or Josh Allen throwing the ball. I think he threw the ball 53 times last week. So they're able to put up points. We got to watch a little more film, see how we can stop him.
Seems like there's a little bit of added intensity when the Bills meet up with the Chiefs. What's your explanation for that?
I think any AFC game we play is intensified because of the magnitude of the game.
Chris, you've been on teams here that have had stretches where they've lost 2 games, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 5, that sort of thing, kind of where you are now. What does it take to get out of something like this? And because each time it's happened.
We can't lose on 3 out of 4 and on 3 out of 5 right now. It's a critical situation for us, especially where we're trying to be going in the next few weeks. We got to correct the errors, and we got to correct it fast.
Looks like Nick could be back in the mix this week. How much of a boost would that be for you?
I'm excited to have my linebacker back. That's my linebacker, man. I'm so excited to have him back. I know he makes a huge difference for this defense. His leadership, his play calling, his adjustments to the game. He does a tremendous job for us as a leader.
Chris, last couple of games, opening 2 possessions from the other team, resulted in something you didn't want. I mean, what are you guys trying to do to maybe get off to a faster start than you had in the last couple of games?
We'll fix it.
Anybody else?
Is there a rhyme or reason to the run game against you guys just being a little bit more successful these past few games? Anything that you could put your finger on and you guys can adjust moving forward?
The front 4 will be better.